Hello and welcome to lesson 6. Wow, we're making great progress. We're pretty much halfway through the book now. This lesson's very short, but there's a concept in it that I think is a little bit difficult. And that's why we're going to do a video just talking about this particular concept. It is the very useful MOU. Now, I want to remind you that there's a thing that happens, by the way, you do need to know it. Na, ni, nu, ne, no. Akasatana, ha, na. Akasatana. So, mayara. We're already halfway through the katakana. We're almost done. In 4 lessons, 5 more lessons, we'll know all of the katakana. Very nice. There's a thing that happens in Japanese, not just Japanese, but any language that you learn it, but let's just keep it to Japanese for right now. So, some things in English, we talked about this before, I just want to remind you, some things have one version in Japanese and one version in English. For example, a dog is a dog, right? Inu, dog, and neko, cat, right? So it's a one-to-one relationship. Then there are those things where the Japanese word is 2 versions and the English is 1. There's multiple ways to say it in Japanese, but only it becomes one thing in English. And that's, for example, imasu and arimasu, right? To have. Because in English, we just have, oh, I have a girlfriend and I have some headphones, some earphones. Even though these are dead, wow, it's the same word, have. In Japanese, it's awkward. In Japanese, we have iru, aru, right? Iru for have living things and aru for have dead things. Or not dead things, but non-living things. And so that's where Japanese has more. Well, now we're going to learn something where Japanese has just one version, but English has 3. 3 different things happen. And this happens. So when you're speaking Japanese and you're translating, I spit right now. I was very excited, and I know it's not the first time I spit, but it's the first time I felt like you could see it. And I'm sorry for that. It just went it's like right there. Ugh. Ugh. When you're translating Japanese and English, you have to make sure, I keep saying this, but I want you to remember, make the English sound natural. That will make you a better translator or interpreter. And even though maybe your goal isn't to become an interpreter, you will have to interpret. You will be around people that don't speak English but speak Japanese, or the other way around, and you will end up being that person. So even if you're from another country, let's say you're from Denmark or Norway or Germany, and you're watching these videos in English, but maybe you learn Japanese and you actually are German. The German needs to sound natural. Don't make the German sound awkward because you're trying to match the Japanese. All right, so it's a very short video, but I just made it long. New words, we're just gonna learn 2 new verbs, just to throw them in here. There's only 2 new verbs in this lesson. Kaku, to write. Kaku, to write. And yomu, to read. If you go to the dictionary and you look up kaku, it also means to scratch. Kind of a cool thing. If you look it up with the kanji, of course, it will. We don't have the kanji showing here, but just in the hiragana, it will bring multiple verbs that mean something different. But now we're learning to write something. Okay. Yomu is to read. Okay. Seems like a good combination of things to know. And boom, we need to know what MOU is. In Japanese, it is one thing. But in English, it is already, more, or any more. And there might even be more things that it can do. But right now, that's all I could come up with. That's all we talk about in the book. There's these 3 things that MOU does. Okay? So let's look at it. When you have MOU followed by a past tense verb, it means already did, whatever that verb is. For example, I start out already with a question. もう食べましたか? Did you already eat? もう食べましたか? If you did, you can say, はい、もう食べました. Yes, I already ate. Hey, do you want to go eat with us? いいえ、もう食べました. No, I already ate. Pretty handy, right? To know MOU is pretty handy. もう帰りました. もう帰りました. I already went home. Remember that if you're at home and you said 帰りました, it means you're home. I mean, you are home. もう帰りました. And if you've already left the office, you've left to go home. So if someone says, hey man, Are you still at the office? I need you to check the IPS report. すいません。もう帰りました. Sorry, I'm already home. And by the way, if you are working in an office, you should just say that anyway. No one wants to work. Come on. Hey, I want to recommend a book for you guys. It's called Harry Potter. もう読みました. Already read it. もう読みました. Oh, okay. Wow. I just noticed something. Let me fix something here. Let me type something new in here that I want to talk about. I just noticed this new thing. I even predicted that it was going to happen, and it did happen. So, もう3時です. It's already 3. There's not a past tense there, but now it means already. Okay? So whatever the English needs to make sense, もう3時です. It's already 3. I had there as a typo, もう3時でした, which means not, it's awkward. It's already was 3. You wouldn't say. So it doesn't have to be past tense here. It's already 3. You put mo in front of this thing that's already become that state. Did you already eat? Did you already come? I already came home. Already read. Already 3. Makes sense. Right? But if you think of mo only meaning already, you're going to have a bad time. Because if you add it in front of a counter word or a numbered thing that we were talking about, we learned this. Well, we've been learning it through Course 1 and Course 2. So let's look at numbered more things, what it would mean. So, for example, もう一つください. もう一つください. One more generic object, right? One more thing. Remember, when you don't know the counter word, just say 一つ. You might be wrong, but at least they'll know what you mean, you know? And that's what you want. If you said もう一ください, they would not understand you. If you learn any counter, please learn 一つ、二つ、三つ、四つ, or you will not. You can't do もう一ください. You can't. Now, there are some counters that have ichi in it. You already know one, by the way. We haven't talked about it. But we already know a phrase that even has it in it. Even mo. In the beginning of this book, we teach you a lot of phrases. And we say, very specifically, don't worry about the grammar. Eventually, you'll know the grammar. But thinking about it now is too much. Here's a prime example. もう一度言ってください. もう一度. Now, we don't know a lot of what's happening in that sentence. We know mo means one more because there's a one after that. Ichido. Ichido means one time. One more time, and we don't know this yet. Itte kudasai. Please say it. Please say it one more time. All right? もう3人来ました. もう3人来ました. Okay? Now, I just thought of something. You know, this could mean two things. And I didn't mean to do this, but now that I'm thinking clearly, もう3人来ました means it can mean two things. 3 more people came, or 3 people have already come. Let's say you're at a party, and this is always going to be context, right? Always. So let's say you're at a party, and I'm not there yet, and I call and say, hey man, 何人いますか? How many people are there? Or maybe I ask you directly, 何人来ましたか? How many people came? You could say, あ、もう3人来ました. Oh, 3 people are already here. Then in the very next breath, the guy could go, あ、もう3人来ました. Ah, 3 more people came. In the meaning changes because it's a different context. There's already 3 people here, and 3 more came. Okay? もう1匹欲しいです. もう1匹欲しいです. We don't know what animal he wants because we don't know the context, but we know because the counter is 1匹, he wants one more of whatever he has. Could be a fish, could be a dog or a cat. What can't it be? It can't be a rabbit because rabbits are not counted with 1匹2匹. If you remember that lesson, it was just a few videos back, or just, it's actually it's either, it's lesson, honestly I don't remember. It's probably like the last lesson. I don't remember, I'm doing too many videos. We know that birds and rabbits use wa, ichiwa, niwa, sanwa. If you want one more bird, you would say mo ichiwa hoshii desu. Okay? All right. If you are thirsty and you drank an entire Coca-Cola, or what's a good Japanese drink? There's a Japanese drink called Calpis. C-A-L-P-I-S. But it sounds like something disgusting. So when we were in Japan, we used to always, the newbies that came to Japan, we would say, hey, do you want to drink, this is a very famous drink in Japan, do you want to drink some Calpis? And we're saying Calpis, but it registers as something else. Like, no, but it's really delicious. In America, we sell it here, but they changed the name to Calpico, because of course we couldn't sell that. But what if you liked it and you wanted one more, you would say, mo ippon nomimasu, I will drink one more. Now notice in that case, it probably would not ever be already I will drink one. It doesn't make any sense. But if it was past tense, mo ippon nomimashita, it's always already. I already drank one. Mo ippon nomimashita. All right. Oh, you know, at the end, we're going to put all three in a row. I think it's going to be good. Mo plus negative. This means I am not going to do this thing anymore. Won't do anymore or not something anymore when it's, okay, when it's plus negative. For example, mo kawaiku nai desu. This is something maybe a parent would say. Maybe your mom said it to you. She's like, look, you were cute. You were cute when you were a baby. But right now, mo kawaiku nai desu. You're not cute anymore. You're not cute anymore. Sorry. Mo ikimasen. Let's say you went to a restaurant and you had a very, very bad experience. You could say, I'm not going there again. Mo ikimasen. Let me give you a bonus one. I like giving bonuses every now and then. A real common thing you hear the Japanese people say is nidoto. Nidoto. That means not a second time. So if they, you'll hear this together. Mo nidoto ikimasen. It really means I'll never go again. I'll never give it a second shot. Never going again. Nidoto. Kind of a bonus. All right. Mo kodomo janai desu. Mo kodomo janai desu. I'm saying it as if I was saying it. I'm not a child anymore. Actually, I had this fight with my wife. We were married maybe a few months, I remember, and it was after Japanese class one day. We taught the Japanese class, and we were arguing over something, probably about the lesson itself. And I was in the car, and I was so frustrated because she always wins the argument. Like, literally, she's smarter than me as a human being. And I got very frustrated, and I remember this is exactly how it looked. It was like this. This is the steering wheel of the car. She's over here. I'm like, Mo kodomo janai desu. I'm not a child anymore. And my hands hurt really bad after that. I still remember. This is why I don't hit things anymore with my hand. I learned at that moment not to do that. But I still get made fun of 20 years later from my wife that I'm not a child anymore. All right. But you could say this to your kid. Look, you're not a kid anymore, all right? Maybe I could say it to my daughter who's in college now. I could say, Mari-chan, anata wa mo kodomo janai desu. Mari, you're no longer a child anymore. Mo asa janai desu. Maybe you promised to do something in the morning. This happens to me. Yeah, no, don't do that. I'll do that thing. I'll do that in the morning. Yeah. Mo asa janai desu yo. We don't need the yo yet. We'll learn that coming up soon. Mo asa janai desu. It's not morning anymore. All right. Let's throw in something because it's part of this lesson. It's very easy to do though. We know how to say mas, masen, mashita, and masen deshita, but in that very same lesson we could have learned masho. It's that easy. It's just another ending. In the book I noticed it's called a stem. That's my mistake. I used to call these things stems. If you have that version of the book, I apologize. It should say ending. It's the masho ending. And those of you that are studying in other books or know grammar, this is called the volitional. I tried to say volitional, but I said grammar instead. Volitional form. I hate calling it volitional form. Let me tell you why. If you're in a classroom right now and you're watching this video, I want you, everyone who knows what volitional means, raise your hand. Those of you with your hands raised, you liars. Because we don't really know what volitional means. But what it means is you're going to do it on your own volition. You're going to do it. But even that doesn't know. It's the let's go form. That's all it is. Let's. 一緒に行きましょう. Let's go together. 一緒に行きましょう. Now, when you say ましょう form, it always means let's together, right? You don't say it to yourself, right? You don't say, hey, let's go. Because what does let's mean? Let us is what it means. That's where it comes from. Let us. Not let us. Let us. Okay? So it's always more than one person, right? So you say it to someone else saying, hey, let's do this thing. Okay? 一緒に行きましょう. So you don't really need to say 一緒に. You can just say 行きましょう. Let's go. You know it's together, right? 帰りましょう. Now remember, we learned 帰る to mean, it has multiple meanings in English, right? Let's return, let's go home, it means come home, it's all those things. Here, maybe you're somewhere that's not fun, boring, and your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friend says, 帰りましょう. Let's go home. Let's get out of here. Okay? 昼ご飯を食べましょう. 昼ご飯 means lunch. So let's eat lunch. Now, if you add a ka at the end, for example, 書きましょうか. 書きましょうか? This is very nice sounding Japanese. It's so nice. Okay? It's nice because let's say you hear a new Japanese word and you're confused. A very nice Japanese person might say 書きましょうか? When there's a ka at the end, it means, shall I write it for you? Shall I write it for you? Do you want me to write it for you? 書きましょうか? Shall I write it? Okay. So, for example, people's names is a common one. You know, you're like, I don't know what your name is saying. You say your name is, because you know what Japanese people do. When you ask them their name, they say their entire name. They're like, Yamaguchi Kentaro desu. They're like, what? How many syllables does your name have? But they say their last name, Yamaguchi, then their first name. We don't know how to say this. We don't know how to say please write it. But if you're lucky, they'll say 書きましょうか? Shall I write it for you? All right. And 行きましょうか? Shall we go? Yes, we shall. I'll see you on the next video, which is still lesson 6. It's a bonus video. See you there. Bye.